My 15-year-old idiot kid got his girlfriend pregnant on purpose. Oh no. Originally posted April 26, 2025. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I, 30 female, have a child who is 15 male. We'll call him Ollie, plus other children aged 2, 6, 9, and 11. Oh my gosh. As you can tell by my own age, I was a teen parent. I was lucky that we were married at 18, still married, healthy relationship, worked our way out of a very dire situation, graduated, started a trade, etc., and we are comfortable, stable in all ways. This information is relevant. Ollie has been friends with this girl, we'll call her Bree, since he was 7 years old. Their family used to live in the same city as us and went to the same school, same friendship group. We know her parents and are long-distance friends ourselves, not close friends, but say hello when the kids are on video chat, have drinks together before. Bree's family moved to a very small town 3 states away due to rental affordability, no secret. We all have talked about the rising costs of everyday life. The cost of living in the city has risen, forcing many locals out. They moved because of that and for better job opportunities 18 months ago. Since then, Ollie has been begging for us to follow, giving us a sales pitch on cheaper housing, better paying jobs, none of which fit either of our professions, the whole works. We have said no because, well, no, but even if we wanted to, our other children are in school, sports, and have friends here. Selling and buying another house, finding work outside of our skill set, or having to learn new skills, any normal adult would understand this. He does not. Well, fast forward to Christmas, Bree's family came back to our city for a holiday and the kids met up multiple times with each other. It was my understanding that they were always with other kids, but obviously not since Bree is pregnant, and I am certain it was on purpose. He has access to condoms. I don't care for opinions on that. My access was restricted, and I had him. He knows damn well how babies are made and how not to have one. Ollie now wants me to move to be with her and the baby. Pregnancy is confirmed. I've talked to her parents, and I said no. I don't feel I need a reason, but he asked. You're 15. We don't have any proof that it is your child yet. I'm not moving us away from our lives, and you aren't going alone until you're 18. We will do a DNA test, and then we'll look at parenting plans and topped it off with a too bad, too sad. You made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. He took that back to Bree, and now all communication between me and her parents has been cut. I'm a terrible person. My comments about the DNA test are disgusting, and it's fueling my son's hate for me. He says I am keeping him from the love of his life and future baby, using my own successful relationship as proof it will work out. I actually don't even know if I'm right or not. I'm just really upset and feel like my life I worked really hard for has been destroyed. Okay, for updated additional info, to answer some questions. She's due September around the 22nd. I don't think aborting or adoption was ever an option. Ollie admitted it was on purpose last night. Apparently, it was Bree's idea first as a joke that turned into a plan together. Bree's parents will only pass messages through my son, and I have heard this for myself. I stood outside the door and listened to them tell him, tell your mother, insert info below, because I know I will just go off on her about that bullshit still. They are talking shit about me with my kid. They are appalled that I would think that way of Bree when I have known her for more than half her life and do not wish to talk to me. I will not allow him to move out there alone. There are some past issues such as Bree breaking up with him twice in the last 18 months because she found someone that she liked more in her new town around August or October last year, same boy. And when it ended, she came back to Ollie. Bree's a nice girl, but her behavior is toxic and has been since a child. Her mother and stepfather are nice, but the relationship is unstable. The house is chaos. 9 children combined, blended family, and 2/3 teens with serious mental health struggles. He would be leaving stability for chaos and no structure. I want a DNA test. I will not budge on that. I am close to cutting his contact totally at this point because they are only empowering him and reinforcing his behavior towards me and his father. His father is a man of few words, which is unhelpful. So far, he's backed everything I have said and only really chosen to say, you have the intelligence of a pear. We have another update to get to before we get to that. Thoughts? How'd you like to be a parent in this situation?
I would not like to be a parent in this situation, but at 15 to make a decision to do this on purpose is, the intelligence of a pear. Maybe not even, because you have in this day and age, there's a lot of understanding of what is and what it creates. And I feel like they have no idea. They should know because they both come from larger families. They should know what it's like to raise a child. They should know how much work goes into that. But at 15, that's a very young age to take on that much responsibility and to do it on purpose so that you can make your family move. It's a calculated, manipulative move on both of their. Yeah, it's a move on both their parts. That's not okay for either one of these children to try to do. And yeah, as a parent, that's just living a nightmare.
This was an intentional plan to try to force their hand to force them to move. They were using this as a weapon before it even ever happened. You are not ready to be a parent. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think you're they're understanding or comprehending what they have set up for their families, for themselves, like what they're about to go through, what she's about to go through as a 15-year-old girl. Like that's, I don't think any of that is comprehended.
She comes from a family with 9 kids in a very like volatile environment too. Like this is.
It's a very
He has no idea what he's just done. Neither does she. It's
as a parent, I don't even know how I would handle this situation because I can't. It's a wild ride and not one I can imagine.
Yeah. All right, here's update number 2. Things have gone south even further. At this point, husband and I have been blocked on all social media and numbers blocked, but the communication with Ollie has continued. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address to send an email to, but before using that, I asked him to video chat Bree with me there, and then I could ask Bree to please get her parents so I can talk to them about this and tell her that if they were going to continue to refuse, then I would be blocking all contact to Ollie and communication until this is resolved. I told Ollie this before the call. At first he flipped out about it, but it was this or I cut communication completely. I do think he understood that it's not okay that her parents are speaking to me through minors, and he said himself he would like us to talk to each other. Bree joined the call and hung up when she saw I was there too. Ollie called back a few times and she didn't answer. She asked via text why I wanted to talk to her, and Ollie told her that I wanted to speak to her mother, and if we didn't resolve the communication issue, then all contact would be ended until her parents made contact with us and we make a plan for the next few months, including DNA, and then birth arrangements. Said that if the baby is his, we will travel there for the birth and first few weeks after. He told her that I personally think it probably is his baby, but I want to be sure and make sure everything is done right from the start. Well, Bree blocked him with a reply, and he is totally heartbroken. Not eating, sitting in his room all day and night, not mad at me, surprisingly, very, very sorry for him and to us, sad about it all, and I think regretful. He even asked me if there was a way to undo it for himself. Nope. I haven't talked about signing over rights, a male abortion, his father called it, but I think he's just upset right now. A mutual friend of Bree and Ollie's here in her hometown showed him a few posts that she has made in the last 24 hours, things like, "It's you and me against the world, baby girl," and memes about deadbeat dads. She also announced the pregnancy, which she hadn't done yet, and the post had some single mother facts and quotes. Ollie's friends knew about the situation, and a few were under the impression that he had dumped her and the baby, going by the post, but when he explained what had happened, they all rallied for him in the comments. I said not to, and now she's blocked them, and we can't see what she has posted. This is just a nightmare. I had a plan personally, not set, but something I wanted to talk to her parents about, but I don't even want to waste my time with it at this point. Ollie gave us Bree's parents' email address and sent an email to with said plan, which is basically Bree does DNA blood test. We will pay the full $1,500 for it. If it is his baby, we can book flights and plan to be there the first of the month. I'll stay with Ollie, maybe even the whole family, and then we can also work on a parenting plan and getting into mediation for a judge to sign off on it. Ollie's father and I split for the first 7 months of his life, so we have done this before and we know the process. But at this point, I think we'll just leave it to settle before sending an email. Relevant top comments here, let's dive in. Commenter 1, nobody gonna point out that both children are manipulative? Obviously the girl was on board and it sure seems like they both kept it under wraps. Both children are bad actors here. OP said this, I think this was planned 100% on both sides and this was Christmas. She's around 24 weeks, I believe, and way past abortion. They never told us until 20 weeks. Her family knew, but never contacted me. Oh shit. The family knew. Commenter 2, quite the manipulative teen you got there, but by teen logic, his plan makes perfect sense. From any point of view, you can't give in to his plan, though. It would ruin you financially, ruin his relationship with his siblings, and yours with him. I would give him a detailed plan on how you and your partner managed to rise above all the risks of teen pregnancy, focus on school, plan ahead, make sure the village is on board, and of course, how lucky you both were that it all worked out despite having to sacrifice so much. But how does he expect you to support his child without your jobs? But he made the choice to become a parent, so now he will have to do what you did. Focus on school, get stability, make sure to stay in his and her parents' good graces so they can be the village that they will desperately need. There is nothing he can do to support his girlfriend physically, and as a jab, he's done enough physical support for a good while to come. He doesn't have a job, no way to provide financially. All I can do is focus on being able to do that as well and as soon as possible. So by the time he's ready to go partying, no he isn't. He's going to bed early to get up for his weekend job to save up for his kid. Edit to add, I just realized that if this becomes a family tradition, you'll be a great-great-grandparent by the time you turn 60. LOL. That's terrifying. Another commenter, he's 15. You get to make the decisions and you are doing the right thing. No way you can move your whole family because of this. The responsible thing to do is to do the DNA test and set up a parenting plan. He won't like your decisions, but that's too bad because sometimes being a good parent is making decisions our kids hate for us. This is a result of their bad decisions, not yours. Another commenter, reality is about to hit that kid like a train. Another commenter, 15-year-old does not get to dictate terms on uprooting the whole family and ripping his siblings away from the only lives they knew. A 15-year-old does not tell his parents what they'll do. Full stop. Junior here can sit down and reflect on how badly he has his own future. That is the limit of his power right now. He's 15. He will do as he's told. We can see here that he has the decision-making skills of the average parakeet. Feel free to tell him that. He does not even know if it's his child. Insist on that. We have another update here, but I need a breath and a drink. What are your thoughts here, Tater Rooney?
I mean, I think the DNA test is the key to all of this.
Do you think the parents keeping it quiet for as long as they did feeds into that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I think that keeping it quiet for as long as they did is manipulative on the parents. And I don't know if they thought they were protecting their daughter or what they thought in that moment. But I do feel like, I mean, like he said, like this at 15, you are not an adult. You're not able to make these kind of decisions. And they have made these decisions. And now it's a fucked up thing to do. It's a fucked up decision to make. I don't know that it's his child. The things that the blocking, the pettiness, like all of that to me says something is amiss, because every time they get called out for something, it's like they strike and like divert attention to something else, whereas like posting and claiming he's a deadbeat dad and doing all these things, even though that's not the case. Like
it's a propaganda game.
Yeah, it's very manipulative. And so to me, that seems like something is amiss on that end, but obviously I don't know.
I would agree. Update June 3rd, 2025, 3 days later from update number 2 in the original post. Ollie's friend was able to see her Instagram through an old account, different email. I don't use Instagram enough to know what that means, but it meant they weren't blocked when they reactivated. They found the pregnancy announcement post, and if you scrolled across it, it showed a digital copy of the scan Bree sent us as a 16-week scan. Apparently the first scan she had at the OB that is dated April 4th and clearly says GA 19 plus 3 weeks, making an August due date, I believe, or very early September. That would not line up with the due date given to us, but does line up with what her parents told me. She was pregnant mid-April. They told us we've had the pregnancy confirmed and sent a photo of the printed pic, which the date isn't on there. I actually think it may have been cut off the top. I haven't told Ollie this yet, but I want to be sure. I'm very concerned about his mental health at the moment and taking that into consideration, but unless she gave the wrong period dates and the baby measured only 16 weeks, then it's not possible for it to be our son's. Clutches pearls. She was here from December 20th to January 7th and saw Ollie December 21st and 22nd and January 4th and 5th. Never overnight. I asked Ollie when did this happen, and he said January 4th was the only time, which makes more sense as they were in public gathering otherwise. They were at a mutual friend's birthday that night but never stayed overnight. I've had 5 kids and I know the dates are too close to figure it out that way. Ollie also said that the joke Bree made was just to see if it happens. The pregnancy, because then it's obviously meant to be and he would be able to move. To me, it sounds like she had that plan a lot longer, but I may be biased here. No, that's not bias. That shit's lining up. She was already pregnant, and she's like, you know what would be crazy if we had sex right now and I ended up pregnant and then you had to move here? Oh, wow, it's like magic. Relevant top comments here is OP cutting her son's communication off with Bree. OP says, sorry if it sounds childish. I'm only updating because I have no one else to ask or talk to. I don't want to reach out to the other parents I know or Facebook without knowing it's actually my son's child first. And to be honest, I am embarrassed. I threatened to cut off Ollie's contact with Bree only because her parents were encouraging his attitude towards us at home. Another commenter says, so what you're saying is the most immature people in this situation are Bree's parents? I expect teenagers to make questionable decisions, although generally not to the extent of get pregnant on purpose so we can force people to move. But the parents are a whole new level of what the OP says, I'm wondering if Bree has somehow maybe manipulated the situation there. I couldn't imagine being like this, and the family I have met before did not appear this irrational in the past. Okay, so OP is saying maybe Bree has misrepresented this to her parents as well, and that got them in this ire battle. Another commenter, is her social media public or private? If it's public, then sign out in some social media sites you can see without being a member. Then you can track what she posts. Are you even sure she's actually pregnant? Is she showing yet? Has she sent ultrasound photos? She could be lying about being pregnant in the first place. The fact she blocked your son and friends shows it's probably not his. Hopefully your son realizes how horrible this girl and she really are. OP says her parents confirmed that she was pregnant. She's not really showing, no. She sent an ultrasound photo, but it's a photo of a photo. I wanted to keep access to her social media to see if she uploaded anything that showed more information so I could check the dates. I will see if your advice works. Another commenter, definitely don't budge on the DNA test. You never know, especially with her seeing the other boy. Last commenter here. Honestly, the parents' reaction to the whole situation is very odd, especially if you claim they didn't seem this way in the past. I agree with the sentiment that Bree might be twisting the narrative to her parents just as she is twisting it online with the whole deadbeat dad post. I would very much stay firm with the DNA test. This might sound bad, but honestly, I wouldn't trust her without proof based on her current actions. Why not get an attorney involved now? Can you?
That was my question. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know where they are or what the laws are, but I would already have contacted an attorney based on the issues with her parents and how this was being represented.
Would this be a family attorney, I assume?
I have no clue.
It's a weird spot.
But I would get an attorney, and I don't even know if you can force a DNA test until the baby is born. I don't know how that works, but
I don't think you can until it's born.
I would make sure that DNA test happens before, because I mean, God, I hadn't read the last update. That's a fucked up thing to do to somebody at that age. That's super manipulative if that is in fact what is happening. And she had already, but she had already done that, and I don't know. And like the mom said, like he understands how babies are made. He understands, like he has a 2-year-old sibling.
He got played.
He knows exactly what goes into raising a child. Like he's seen it firsthand. Like I can't imagine in a world where a 15-year-old should be making this decision.
No. So the consensus is like, yes, definitely get an attorney involved right now. DNA test may be possible here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
I personally, if I was pregnant, would not get an amniocentesis just to do a DNA test.
Because there is a risk associated
100%,
with it.
yes.
Surprise. Another update. This one, June 15th. I spoke to Bree's biological father, who lives in this town, who had no idea about any of this. Before he come for me, there was no known DV or anything. I felt I had run out of options at this point, and I just wanted a way to contact them. Bree's mother then made contact, agreed to the blood test if we paid for it. Ollie and Bree spoke again, and Bree asked to come here for a holiday and have an ultrasound with him to prove dates in person. I agreed to this, but I may not be thinking straight with the stress we have all been under. She says she's 26 weeks, sent him a photo of her belly, which has grown, and told him there is no other option but him to be the father, that the ultrasound had to go by her last period date, and she didn't remember, so she went by her app, and it said it was the period before. That's why the dates are out on the scan. I asked if she had a physical booklet of pregnancy notes or something, because I know from experience they have all the confirmed information on them, but she said everything is digital with her doctor, and I didn't want to push because it's not my medical info. I'm wondering if I do just fly her out here on my own terms, her mother agreed, and do the blood and ultrasound here and put an end to it all? That's the update. So OP got a hold of BioDad, which somehow opened the door to Bree's mom being willing to talk about doing all the things and agreeing to the test, and now they're communicating. And okay, first of all, what about getting a hold of BioDad tipped the scale because she was in trouble now for keeping it from him? I don't know.
I'm like, this is one of those things where I need the board and the timeline and like the pictures. And so she's not lying about it being his baby. She's coming here to confirm DNA and ultrasound. I mean, someone willing to do that is not.
Or it's a bluff. Being willing to do it is the bluff. So if somebody is like, yes, we'll do the lie detector. That's the test, right? Asking if agreeing to do it.
Well, I mean, at this point, hold her to it. She said, do the blood and ultrasound here and put an end to it all. Yeah, 100%.
Either way, yeah.
That's what you got to do.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you?
Do it and update us because we're all in it.